Hi, it's Rosalind Jovan with Hip Hop and Enterprise. And today I have the pleasure and honor of speaking with author, TV personality, and CEO and founder of CURLS, Miss Mahisha Dellinger. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you. I am amazing. I'm blessed. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yes, you are blessed. Really, it's a pleasure to speak with you for just the pioneer that you've been for Black women, and particularly, of course, in the natural hair care movement, but we're going to get into all of that. I want to first go back, just because your story is so inspiring. You grew up in Sacramento, and growing up, did you necessarily have visions or of entrepreneurship, somebody giving you an example of that early on?
You know, that's a great question. I did not have an example of entrepreneurship. I think had I would have explored it earlier, and I probably would have been successful a lot earlier as well. My background, I'm from Sacramento, South Sacramento, which in the area called Meadowview, also known as Danger Island, was extremely rough, tough, like drug infested, crime ridden, drive-by home invasions, all the things you can imagine for like poverty, dysfunctional cycles of generational just poverty and crime and lack of safety, broken homes, no fathers. And, my girlfriend's pregnant by 15, some of their brothers and make it to see 18. It's just, what you saw was typically what was repeated. So no, I didn't see that. I saw everything else though. Everything else you don't want your kids to see, I saw.
And so as you started to embark on a professional career, how did you start to mold yourself? Like, I'm going to make it, I'm going to break the generational trends that I've seen in my community?
Well, breaking that chain and those generational curses was so important to me. I did have my mother and my father did not get married. I'm a product of a love affair that didn't go as she had hoped. She wasn't, I guess, good enough for the family. Everyone on my dad's side is prosperous. Like, we have Vivian Malone, who's a civil rights pioneer, has a building erected in her name on her college campus, the first to graduate from the University of Alabama, and then Jeff Malone, NBA star. And then we have, also Eric Malone, he's, one of the first Black attorney generals appointed by Barack. So everyone on that side had been really, really successful, but I didn't see them at all because her mom and dad were not together. But I did see some of that sometime, and that gave enough of a glimmer of what life could be if I finished school. Unlike my mom's family, no one finished high school, much less college. People got like their GEDs, if that. So when I did go see that side of the family, which was rare, I did see how the other half lived, and I felt I really want that. I like not going to bed, like lying and heating up your rooms or your house from your stove, or being food insecure and trying to save, never have enough food to get lunch all the way through the end of the week, always scraping by Thursday and Friday. Moving every year from evictions, it was just not stable. And I saw something else and I said, whatever I have to do to get to that side, that's what I want to do. So the first thing I did was I did finish college. I mean, high school, of course, and then I went on to college. And then I got a corporate job, and I thought that was it. I thought I made it because Intel, very prestigious organization, Fortune 500 company, very hard to get into. Excellent benefits, pay, all the things. But then I landed into a department with a racist manager who was helping on get rid of me, and he targeted me and made my life a living hell. And that's when the wheels start to turn about not wanting to work this hard to have that experience happen to me. If I'm gonna put this much work, being the first one in, last one out, making myself very visible, presenting before the board and volunteering for different organizations so I can be visible and climb and do the things that you're supposed to do. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, and I'm a stellar employee, but yet I couldn't really climb the ladder. That wasn't okay for me. That was not okay for me. I did not like that. And I also didn't like someone controlling or having control of my financial destiny in the palm of their hands for that time being when he was looking to get rid of me. So that's when I decided to step back and think, what else can I do? And that's when CURLS was born.
All right, perfect transition. You launched Curls in 2002. At that time, I remember, because I was a freshman in high school, we were still using, like Luster's Pink Light and, products that, no shade, but we just don't use those products anymore because we just
Right.
have more education.
Right.
What was your inspiration in launching Curls? How did you know? Not even how did you know? You knew. What motivated you to go in that lane that no other Black women were going in at the time, really?
Well, I was a newly natural mother. So when you find a problem that has been unmet, that's a great solution or recipe for success in any business. And so that's what it was. I was looking for products for myself, and I was looking at using let's see, Hawaiian Silky, and it was like a gel, but that didn't quite always give me enough moisture. I used Paul Mitchell foaming pomade, and sometimes like, pink, Let's Jam, for edges. But every time I got a different situation, my hair wasn't like always amazing. And I said, I need to figure this out because I'm sure there are other people like me who want natural products. And I saw that there was indeed a need and demand for that. And it was going to be a sustainable business after doing my research. And that's when I decided to do it, launch. And I started very small, e-commerce based only initially. And I turned on the flip on that switch of the website and got 8 orders in that day. The first day, and I was super excited. I was like, woohoo! So excited, I got 8 orders. And that's when it all started.
So what was the first step you took? You said you started to do your research. How did you know what to research? Did you have any guidance in that area?
Well, okay, so I'm a marketing major. So I knew I had to do some research on the demographic and if there were, what the market looked like. So the number of women of color and that growth and then also the multicultural category, but also looking at trends with hair care, because there were reports about what was happening. And at that time, relaxer sales started to go down and they kept going down. They kept going down. They kept going down. So that was showing something's happening in this industry. And there were more and more women experimenting with their natural hair.
Yes, yeah, I remember it was I was introduced early to relaxing my hair, and that's all I knew growing up. And as you get older and you're seeing it's like this is just really damaging my hair. Then you're always having to relax it, always having to relax it. So
Right.
seeing the movement happen, but you being an early pioneer, what was that product development process like for you? How did you know what products to use and what to include for our types of hair?
Right. So I started with 4 products, and we had a moisturizing conditioner or shampoo, conditioner, a spray moisturizer, and then a leave-in treatment. And that was initially just 4 items and expanded, of course, but it was really ingredient based, right? So knowing we didn't want silicones, parabens, sulfates, artificial oils. We knew we didn't want those things. And we knew we wanted ingredients that actually help to stimulate growth, but also moisturize without weighing it down. So it was really me doing my research on ingredients, but I also hired a cosmetic chemist. So I came in with a base level knowledge, but the cosmetic chemist took my baseline knowledge and helped me propel it forward.
And while you were going through the product development phase, were you still working full time? Or
yeah, so when I started, I actually was at Intel and I was doing that work. I remember on my lunch hour in a conference room with my personal laptop, and I was doing my work then. But what happened? I wound up moving over from Intel, and I moved and started working for Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. So that was a very flexible job. I was able to. You had to see 8 doctors in one day and give them all a presentation and give them samples and stuff. So I was able to, with the way I did my schedule, I was able to get 8 doctors seen by noon. I was very diligent about being the first rep in the office. So that way that got my day going. And then I would come home at noon and work on curls. So I had a full-time salary coming in from Pfizer, but I was able to work it part-time. And then I worked from 12 on curls. I did that for probably like 3 years until I could no longer do it anymore because it was a lot, but I did it until I knew that curls could sustain not only growth and reinvestment, but also, my family.
yeah, that's really important. A lot of times as aspiring entrepreneurs are still having to work full time to bring home the money, and but still trying to find time. So just hearing how you did it, it gives people that inspiration.
And I always, when I mentor someone, suggest that you do that, because when you go out the gate and you launch a company or a brand, and you have to rely on its income to live, it's going to hurt your reinvestment back into it unless you have an investor, which I have an opinion about that as well. But I do feel like as long as you can, try to do both, try to figure out how to work both to get it to a certain place.
And what did it take at that time? Like you said, you started on e-com. What did it take to get CURLS into major retailers?
Well, I have been pitching a lot of different retail stores. The first one was Ulta Beauty. And there was this old man named Chuck Barth, this old, bald, white, pot-belly man, who told me, we don't see a need for your kind of products in my store. He was a buyer. And I would pitch him like every year. He was the most horrible person ever. He retired about, I don't know, 10 years ago, and we're in Ulta now, but that was my experience. And I pitched Sally Beauty, no, Walmart, all the people know. And then I got a call that Target was looking to revamp their ethnic set. Their ethnic category, as Linda Sullivan saw, the buyer at the time was Linda Sullivan. She saw that the sales were continuing to go down. They were going down, down, down. Her relaxers were the biggest part of her set. And she saw the trend. And she also saw that there were some underground brands, we were underground at the time, that were doing things, and it was me and a few other brands she brought in for a test on 105 doors. And she called us and said, we would like to meet with you. That's not how it usually happens. Right. This buyer was actually ahead of her time. She saw what was happening, didn't just sit there and let it happen. She saw that there were some brands doing great things, brought us in for a meeting and said, we want to work with you. Show us what you got. And that's how we got our opportunity. And then after that, it was a 105 store test that we had to do well. We all did well, went from 100 doors to 300 doors to 6, 9, and a nationwide. And along the way, all the other stores that we initially pitched came calling us. So it took that one opportunity to make everyone else see that this is not a fad. It's not, a trend. It's actually a movement that's happening.
Yes. And I mean, you kind of touched on it when you were answering that question, but do you feel that there were hurdles you were facing at that time that Black entrepreneurs, particularly in the hair care space, won't have to face today?
Yes. Oh my gosh. We have the pioneers in this space that when we launched, it was a lot harder. It is so much easier to get into this space now. The barrier of entry is very low. And so we have laid the foundation, the framework, the path to do it and how to do it well. So it is definitely much easier. Now it's crowded, it's more crowded. Yeah. And you may not last, you may not, if you make it on a shelf and you don't know how to sell through, but it's definitely easier to get an opportunity for sure.
I like that you mentioned we laid the groundwork, because you sure enough did. And
yes.
You mentioned earlier about how you feel about investors. Do you think that that was something that you could have used early on, or what's your even view on taking on investors?
Well, at first I wanted to get a small business loan. And this is the thing. Black businesses get less than 1% of us will be granted a small business loan or get funding. That's horrible. Less than 1%. We already are at a disadvantage because we lack the information, the resource, the access, a seat at the table. But then now we can't even really get support to start. We have great ideas. And it's incredibly hard. I applied for a small business loan. I had a full business plan. Remember, I'm a marketing major, so I had it laid out. Had everything totally just like perfected and proof of performance. And so I could not get a small business loan. I had great personal credit. So what I had to do, I had to take my small savings, instead of having a wedding, because I wanted to get married. I got married a little bit after. I took that and launched CURLS. And instead of investment funds, I had to grow it smaller over time, grow it organically. But I did want an investor. But now looking back, hindsight 2020, it's probably, I feel it's best to first go at it alone and see how it goes. Because if you go into debt out the gate and something doesn't go well and you have the wrong partner, it can be bad for business. So I feel like you almost have to get established, test the waters, put the product out there and grow it organically and improve on it, fine tooth comb everything before you're really visible. Cause I did a lot of that. Like before people even saw me on the shelves, I had changed things. I had changed packaging. I changed, some of the formulas. I, updated the, website. I did some of those things as I kind of learned the business. And I could have lost a lot of money had I gotten, an investor, because I might not have had all of the knowledge bank that I have now, or even 5 years later, to know exactly the best way to use it. So I always say kind of start small, grow it, learn from it before you dig and go into someone else's pockets.
Right. That's a great tip. And when exactly did you start to feel, or when did you know, okay, I made it. I made it.
Oh my gosh. People, when I get that question, I go, I don't know if you ever know. Like, I think it's never, oh, I'm here. It's always, okay, I want to get to $1 million. Okay, you get to $1 million. I want to get to 5. Okay, 10, 20. You want to keep up in the ante. And every year is a new goal.
Mm-hmm.
And it never stops. So.
Okay, I feel you on that. And, as an early pioneer in the natural hair care movement, how do you feel seeing where it's come today? And, has it even inspired you with curls in any way?
I love that we're seeing a lot of unique players, meaning people are bringing their personality. Like when you see a Black owned hair care brand, you're seeing that founder all through and through, the packaging, the product itself. You see that it's that person. It's not like a Pantene where they're just doing some research, slapping some product in a bottle and labeling it and trying to target us and or whoever else, like they're doing with their new, gold collection, trying to come after our audience. Yeah. When you are seeing these Black brands, you're seeing their true, authentic women behind, and some men behind these brands. So it's interesting. It's cool. It's great to see so many of us thriving in this space, taking over shelves. It's amazing. It's a good feeling.
And you're a natural teacher, and you gift your ability of just a knack for entrepreneurship for Black women on OWN with your show, Mind Your Business. And, tell us about how that opportunity came about.
Interesting enough, we were going to do a show about the original brand owners, and a reality show. They wanted Curls, me, Miss Jessie founders. They wanted Mixed Chicks founders. They wanted King Curly and Lisa Price, Carol's daughter. And I thought, this is amazing. That would be really cool to see us together. Well, some of the ladies didn't want to do it. So that's didn't happen, but I had went through the interview process. I thought it'd be great because we have a story to tell. So I went through the interview process, and the producers that met me were working on this project for OWN. And that's how we were connected. Oprah saw it, she actually wanted to do something to help Black entrepreneurs, because while Black entrepreneurship is on the rise, we're up 300%, less than 4% will make it to the $1 million mark. That is a huge gap to bridge. So we're up 300%, but less than 4% will see $1 million. There's a lot of money to be made if we knew how. And she wanted to help do something about it.
I love it. It's such an inspiration. That's why Oprah is the queen.
Yeah.
And so you also share your story in your book, Against All Odds, mm-hmm. from the projects to the penthouse. Mm-hmm. How long did it take you to write that book? And like, what was your motivation going into it?
It was about, I guess, maybe 9 months. I think it was. God, that's so long ago. I think it was 9 months. Really to share everything I do when I speak. It's always talking about my journey from a very transparent place, because sometimes people fantasize about entrepreneurs or people that quote unquote made it and, have success, that you have to be a certain kind of person or have a certain type of background or known this person. But I want to show that even with all the things that I went through, because my life had a lot of trials and tribulations and obstacles and odds stacked against me. And the goal is to say that if I, after all of this, can do it, so can you. And so it was really transparent. Some of the pages, if I read still today, I'll still cry because they're really fresh things that just still are memorable for me and things that impactful for me, things that, were hard to even live through and just have to write about and reread them. But it shows the vulnerability of me being able to really share, so you can say, see, maybe someone can see a piece of them in me.
Yeah, that's what it's about. And you've done so much, so much success while being a mother of four. And so, some of your kids are old, like grown, and then you still got some young ones.
Yep.
What advice do you have for those of us aspiring to do the same and feeling anxiety of like, how am I going to have time to do my job and raise a child and start a business and manage it? It's, how?
Well, I get that all the time. And really, and I just said this just yesterday, like it is about like honestly being the most dedicated steward of your time. Your time is your most precious commodity. You can never get it back. And so I say no to a lot of stuff and a lot of people. I do not give my time freely. I have 4 kids, I have a husband, and I have a business, and I have a little bit of a social life, but I have a small network of girlfriends. I love to hang out, and they breathe life back into me. So I like to spend my time that way. So that means that a lot of things are going to go by the wayside. I don't have time to do a lot of the things that people may want me to do. So, and my priorities are God first, family second, business third. The main thing has to be the main thing. And I start there. And do I always get that right? No. Do I always have my priorities line up every day? No. When I was taping my show, I was in LA for like 5 months. Like I was on for 5 days, home for 2, for 4 or 5 months. And that was out of whack, of course, but we saw the light at the end of the tunnel. We knew it was a great thing to do. And my husband took over while I was gone, right? Like, and we're great partners. The other thing I'm gonna say, and Oprah said this too, and it's so true, rings so true. Your partner that you select to be in your life will help make you or break you. They can either help propel you into success or pull you back out of success or prevent you from being successful, hands down. If you have a supportive spouse or partner, you can do anything. I honestly could tell you right now, without John Dillinger, I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing today. Whenever I needed to step down, like we had back-to-back children. Our Bryce and Isabella, 16 and 17 now, were little baby and toddler when I launched, right? He stepped in because he saw the vision, he saw and believed in me, and he did everything. Do you understand me? We had help. We had a nanny that was in, and I worked at home. Despite having a warehouse and office where my employees went, I work from home so I could like work and then eat with the kids and play and then go back to work and then play and kind of chop my day up and make me work longer. But I didn't miss them walking. I didn't miss, the hugs. I didn't miss the kisses. I didn't miss mama or, any of those things. But he was the one that was making sure the fort was held down. He was grocery shopping. He was cooking. He was doing the walks at night when they were fussy. He was, just doing all the things that I needed as I was just hankering down, trying to launch his brand. And when I went to do the show, I almost didn't do it. I said, I can't, I had this mommy guilt. I can't be away from my kids like that. Like, how can I leave them like that? I was literally in tears. I couldn't imagine like leaving them because we were supposed to tape in Dallas. And last minute, they decided, well, Oprah wants it to be in LA so she can really see everything. And I was all the way up until last minute expecting to tape in my home city. So my husband said, Mahisha, I can do this. I got this. Go. You got to do this. And all the kids like, Mom, you go. I could have done it without him.
Right. That gives me hope because I definitely have a supportive spouse. So, okay. And just one nanny. Okay. Noted. And are you seeing your entrepreneurial bug passed down in any of your children?
Great question. The baby Kennedy said, Mom, I'm taking over CURLS. I'm going to be the one that's going to run CURLS when you get older. I might let Bryce move some boxes. I might let Izzy do something in the office, but I'm going to be the leader. She's a 10-year-old. So she right now bakes and cooks and she sells all of her goodies. When we were in COVID, like I'm a green juice fanatic. And so right when COVID happened, some stores were shut down. She saw that I couldn't get my juices. That was like right when, the newness of it. So she bought a machine and started making them for me, but she charged me instead of $6, the cost I got, $10 because I couldn't get them. Law of supply and demand. She understood. You can't get them, so you're gonna pay this $10 per bottle. And certainly I did. And she would write me up an invoice. And if I didn't pay on time, my delivery wasn't happening next week. So she was like, pay this invoice and you can't get no more juices. I was impressed.
Oh, she's definitely taken over the company.
I was impressed.
That's amazing. Oh, it's hilarious, but that says a lot about where she's at. She's already on it. She's charging you interest, her own mama.
I know. I was dying. She was 8 then. She's 10 now. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. And I paid her money because she did the work.
What you gonna do? You're not gonna pay her money?
I paid her money, and she would slip her invoices under my door bed. She would slip her invoices under my door, and making sure that okay, I'm not making them tomorrow morning.
Hey, you gotta pay up, honey.
Yes,
you didn't pay yesterday. I let you slide, but if you miss again today, you ain't gonna have no juice.
No green juices. Yeah, she was serious about that. She was serious about that.
She's on it. So, we are just now embarking on a whole new year. You've already accomplished so much, but is there any goals business goals or life goals, personal goals that you have for the new year?
Well, yes, I do. I'm doing a lot of things. Okay, so personal or professional?
All of it.
Okay, so gosh, my vision board has 2 sides, personal and professional.
There you go.
So I have my family stuff on one side and my professional on the other side. So, I'm launching new businesses. My husband it's his turn. He has a business. He's doing a custom sneaker company where the capsules actually have not only the sneakers that are custom with amazing different materials and leathers, but the matching different items that go with it. And so unique. I am launching though something called Essentials. Essentials. Xsentuls. So Xsensual, something that's scented lingerie, chocolate, vanilla, caramel, chocolate, vanilla. Okay, vanilla, chocolate, caramel, mocha, and strawberry for the dessert capsule. And they are great for a fun Valentine's night, anniversary, birthday night, and they smell divine. They're safe. They're scented and washed with natural essential oils, and they just are great and fun.
That's even for you going to the club. You want to, you're going to start dancing, getting a little. But what's coming out, it smells like vanilla.
No, but you want to keep that for your man.
Yeah. I definitely am.
And they are so divine. And so I have the fragrances here. I'm actually looking at for the summer collection. So the fruits are coming. So we have the peach, the strawberry, the orange. The tangerine. They're going to be the summer collection will be more of a mesh. But bright colors with these fruit flavors. And so the dessert collection is now, we launched last Monday.
Wow. Okay. So we're going to circle back when that launches because and with the sneaker company, I love that you plugged your husband as well. That's, the sneaker industry, the hype beast culture is huge. And I'm sure, and if he has the passion in the area, which I'm sure he does, it's going to take off. I need to see you guys at Complex Con out here.
Yes. And I do want to send you some essentials. So, caramel, mocha, I don't know, caramel and strawberry are my favorite. Caramel,
I love caramel.
Chocolate. Okay, so I'll send you caramel.
Yes. Okay, so those were the business goals.
Yeah.
Personal.
Okay, so we're really diving heavy in real estate. Like we're going really all out. We have fourplexes, we have Airbnbs, we have lake homes, we have international. So my husband's managing all that. So that's a heavy thing for 2022. Warehouses too. Lots of investment in real estate. So that's a big thing for our portfolio, for our family. And then for me, the biggest thing was really more time, like even more time for the family. So I am pulling back even more. So that means more with my teams. My teams are taking over more. I've been more diligent with that piece. And I have an amazing team. So it's all about, because I know I'm not old, but I'm ripening a little bit. Okay. So I want to make sure that I don't miss out on anything.
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, I'm so inspired. I knew I would be. Danica told me I would love you. I do. You are
Aw.
such a light, and I'm so honored I said it at the beginning, but now that we got through the conversation, you have just dropped so much jewels for women, of course, but anybody really trying to start something and go for it while still keeping the value of family and faith at the forefront. Thank you so much.